Hey, what's going on, guys? Here for another transformational Thursday. I'm here with Sakiria. I don't know where she is. She's somewhere in the back. Well, not in the back. She's in the back of the screen, and I know she'll show her face, but she's putting me up here, so I have to talk just myself. Apparently, I look better on camera. At least that's what I think. Anyway, so today what we're going to be talking about is are you committed to living your best life despite the breakup? Yes, I was kind of glancing here because I kind of forget sometimes like a word or two. So you see me glancing at the computer, but are you really committed to living your best life despite the breakup? That's a big question. And we talk to so many people over the phone. We help so many people in our program. And one of the things is when we talk to these people on the phone and even in our program, there's a little bit of hesitation a lot of the times about stepping out of the feelings that they're feeling, the painful, the anger, resentment, guilt, hurt, shame, all of those, worthlessness, all of those feelings can keep us feeling trapped inside and like we're afraid to step out. But what we're going to discuss is are you, whoever's listening, yeah, I'm talking to you, are I know, right? Are you committed to changing your life and living the best version of yourself, the best life you can, despite the breakup? Don't let the breakup affect you. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. Oh, and guess what? There's Sakiria.
Hello, everyone. So let's get straight into it. A lot of times, when the breakup happens, individuals and men come out of it feeling broken and feeling as if they cannot move on and if life has ended. We've heard so many stories and we understand the feeling because there's a lot of emotions that are showing up where you can feel as if does we've heard this, does it even make sense for me to continue living? That's
Yeah, we hear
how
that.
far it has gone sometime because of the pain that is attached to the breakup. But we want to let you know that you can live your best life despite the breakup. No, as a male, Alexander, how did you feel? And especially after the breakup, like right after it ended, it's fresh. What are some of the emotions that came up for you?
Like right after the breakup?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's so many different emotions. I mean, well, now I'm laughing about it because now I'm not like stuck where I was. But during the breakup, if someone's like, "Oh, how you feeling?" I would have been like, I say that now with like laughter and humor and comedy because of I know where I am. But after the breakup, one of the biggest emotions I felt was, oh, we're gonna get back together. Oh, this is just happening right now. And then it turned into, are we gonna get back together? When are we gonna get back together? Okay, then it was like, okay, this is serious. Now I'm like, okay, how do I deal with this pain? And so I started looking for things to run away from. Whether it was my job, I didn't really go to my work for it. Some people go to their work. I found alcohol, I found drugs. That was my thing to deal with my depression and anxiety. I started golfing more. I started smoking more. Like I started doing different things. I started rebounding. I started meeting all these girls on dating apps and I was like, okay, maybe this is going to help me to get over her. And it's just like it's this feeling of like depression, anxiety, guilt because I'm like, oh, I could have done this differently and I could have done that differently. She also wanted this, so why didn't I do that? And then there's shame that comes. It's like the spectrum of emotions after a breakup are so big. I know you can't see my hands, but they're so big, and it gets really hard. Anyways, sorry. Go ahead, Sakira. I see we have a comment. So
Yeah, they're just sharing some of the comments that we're getting from those who are watching, and we thank you for sharing. And here we're saying I'm way better off, and that's it. Sometimes after the breakup, there's so much hopelessness And I'm happy that this individual is
Yeah.
sharing that, hey, there is hope. You can be better off. But so many guys are feeling stuck after the breakup that even when the person was abusive, they still want to get the person back. Why is that so? I think there's a key thing is because you've lost yourself and your identity in the relationship, that you prefer something, even if it's not good, than being alone. And when you don't know yourself, then being alone can be quite scary.
Yeah. And just to go on that comment, because that's also what I used to say. I used to say I'm way better off. And then I was, I'm not saying that this person is in this space, but I'm saying that this happened to me. So I said I was way better off because that was my coping mechanism at that time to say, oh, I don't need her. I'm good without her. But really inside of me, I was still hurting. But that's me. So I'm just making a point out of this because for anyone watching, that if you feel that way, it could go two ways. You could be better off and realize it, or you could think that you're better off, but really it's just a coping mechanism to blanket the feelings that are happening inside of you.
That's a good point to bring up, because I know it can be like a thin line between thinking that, oh, you know what, I'm good, but still emotionally like we
Yeah.
feel like a wreck and we feel bad. What we are very keen on is the vibrational, the emotions and the feeling part of us, to ensure
Yes.
that they are actually in alignment with what we're thinking and what we're saying. A lot of times we put up blocks. A lot of times we're like, you know what, I am not going to, like, I hope you don't go like me.
I was just about to say that. I was like,
I'm
guys,
like,
if you
I'm like,
I mean sometimes yeah,
I'm
but
talking
like,
to guys here. I'm not talking to women.
well,
Anyways.
it's a liberal world we live in now, okay?
Okay.
So like okay, all right. But
So
yeah, I saw the head like this, and I was like, "Oh no, she's getting serious. Everyone, watch out! Please back up away from the computer."
all right, that was a commercial break, everyone. So
Yeah,
let's get back to the topic,
yeah.
which is, you know, when you know that you would have healed and that you're living your best life. Let me tell you when you know. When you can think back on the relationship, and no matter how bad it was,
Mhm.
you're grateful for it.
Yes.
You have peace. And if the person comes up, whether they're names or you see them in person, you still have peace and calm. If you think of the person, if you see the person, if the name comes up and your spirit gets like cross or angry, or just something emotional comes up that's negative, you are yet to get over that relationship. And I don't care if it was a year ago or 2 years ago or 6 months ago. If your vibration or your feeling is strong in a negative way, you are yet to heal. And you cannot live your best life if you do not heal from that relationship. Truly heal from the
I
relationship.
think that's a good point. And I want to share. I know you've talked about this before. You know, I was in a 4.5 year relationship, but it took me 4.5 years, almost 5 years, to get to that point where I could think about her and I could be grateful for the things that happened, the things that weren't good, the things that didn't go well, the things that um, I knew weren't really great in the relationship. And I knew at this point, I knew I was better off. But being better off is much different than being grateful.
Hmm.
I think for me, at first I was like, I'm better off, I'm better off. And we're just talking about that. I'm just talking about this because there was that comment. And again, there's nothing. I'm just talking about what I went through. And even though I said I was way better off, it wasn't until the point I stopped saying I'm way better off, and I just started saying I'm grateful for that relationship, and that's it.
How do you reach that point? It's a key thing because a lot of people in our industry don't talk about this. What is do is how to get over her and get on to somebody else, or
Yes,
what messages is surface level external thing. What messages do you send to the next
correct.
person? But I'm sure, Alex, well, I do know that during the 4 almost 5 years that it took to really get over the relationship that you were in other relationships and what we call situationships. So it's not about moving on and thinking, oh, I'm with somebody else, I've gotten over it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not
That's
that.
that doesn't work.
It doesn't. And what's the worst part? How you really know that you haven't gotten over it too is that you find yourself in a new relationship, but it's the same situations happening again. It's a different girl or a different person,
And you find
but
yourself giving up yourself.
yes,
They're saying like, oh, you do this different, or I wish you did this, or why don't you do that? And then you start like doing those things, like even a little bit, like even like, drinking milk out of the carton. And she's like, oh, why do you drink milk out of the carton? Person I love doesn't drink milk out of the carton. So then you stop drinking milk out of the carton. Like even something simple like that. If you like drinking milk out of the carton, drink milk out of the carton. Go for it. I don't know why I'm talking so much about milk, but
that's the strangest example.
it's a good example because again, not everyone is
I know.
like 5 years old. People drink milk. Well,
I know.
they used to. Anyways, okay, commercial break again, everyone.
But saying this to say that no matter how long it has been with the split and the breakup, milk is good, eh? You got someone to your defense. Milk is good.
All right,
We love
awesome.
it. We love it. So
Cool.
no matter how long it has been, though, if you're not at a place, and listen, we can't tell you if you found peace. We can't tell you if you've really gotten over the relationship. You know, if there's any little bit of resentment, anger, guilt, shame that you're feeling when you think about this person, you really haven't gotten over it.
Correct.
And you will not move on to living your best life until you do, because even if you find somebody else, you're going to be in the same situation.
And you're going to be carrying those feelings with you into that new relationship. Even if you don't notice them, they're inside of you and they're trying to come out, and they're going to come out in different ways in how you respond, how you react, what you say, what you think, what you do, not just to them, but also to yourself. And again, you're going to start to notice little things happening in your life that don't make you feel good. And that's because your emotions are trying to say, hey, I'm still here. You haven't helped release me. Why aren't you doing anything about me?
And time won't heal it, by the way. So you might be, oh, I'll give it some time.
Oh, yeah.
But that's one of the biggest lies.
That doesn't work.
It doesn't work. The what works is doing the inner work. What works, and sometimes we start doing some work and we don't, it doesn't go through because it's a lot deeper than we think. It's not just reading a book or just attending a webinar or any of those stuff. You have to do the inner work. But I'm telling you, when you do the inner work, there's such peace and freedom. We were just on our Q&A call a while ago, and the atmosphere and the air was just amazing.
Cool. Yeah, everyone's amazing.
Because you can talk about the difficult things, but when you start having certain realizations and you're like, oh, whoa, oh, so that's what's happening, you can appreciate life for what it truly is and find peace and happiness.
And I think it's important. I think it's important to have a space where you can be honest, you can have openness and transparency. And we heard that from some of our clients tonight. They talked about openness and transparency is something they highly value. And, that gives you an opportunity to be honest, is to have a place where you can share your emotions and what you're going through. And you're not less of a man because you're hurting. You're not less of a man because your heart's broken. You're not less of a man because you are feeling emotional and you want to share your feelings. I was going to make a joke and say you're not less of a man if you don't drink milk, but you're not less of a you're not like I just felt that was appropriate, but you're not less of a man for just because you want to be open and share what you, but it's so important. I know when I was going through my breakup, I didn't have a place that I could be open, that I could be honest and share with someone. And then I met Sakiria, and then she held space for me, and together that's why we do what we do, because we both have relatability. We've both been through these breakups and these difficult situations, but we've also overcome these breakups, and we did it
Yes.
together. And that's why we've developed an amazing program that people can access. And Security, you can talk about it because
Before we even get to the program,
good,
because
yeah,
not
good,
everybody, we don't work with everybody. Okay, let's
correct.
just be upfront so that you know we're not for
Yeah,
everybody.
we're very selective too.
Yeah, we're for people who are really serious about doing the work and really, not just on the surface level, but on the internal level, want to feel peace and joy no matter what is happening and want to have unconditional love in their life and be that person. And so we invite you to come on our breakthrough call. It's 45 minutes to 60 minutes where it's free, where we are able
Yeah, it's
to
free.
really find out the truth of what's happening deep inside you. And one of the things that, a lot of guys have said to us, some people who have even been in therapy for how many months, is like, I didn't even tell my
Years.
therapist this.
Yeah,
I like to hear
I
that
remember I had a breakthrough call with a guy, and literally we were 45 minutes in. It went longer than 45 minutes, but we were 45 minutes in, and he had been doing therapy for like 6 or 7 months. And he was like, I haven't even told my therapist what I just told you. And I'm like, how long we been on the phone? And he's like,
one.
45 minutes. Like, so it's we want you to know that it's not just in our program. It starts with the breakthrough call with us. And by coming on the call, you will understand who we are, how we show up, how much of our heart is in this and dedicated to helping you, because we care, because we know what the hell it feels like, and it
Mhm.
does feel like hell. And now I'm getting passionate. I wish I could just grab like people and just be like, okay, come, like let your heart be free. It's okay. You can love again. There's so many people waiting for you. They just want to love. Imagine a world filled with love.
And the good thing is, like, you can come on the breakthrough call with us, and even if you do not get to work with us in our program, it's okay. This is going to be 45 minutes to 60 minutes that gets you so much clarity that you can you can decide. And that's the space that we have too, is that we want to be a good fit for each other, so you get to decide on that. But let's look at first finding out what the real issue is. And if you want to do so, then go to breakuprecoveryformen.com/apply. Again, spaces are limited. It's a free breakthrough call. Do it and let's have a conversation. Let's talk. All right. In
Security,
this,
you sound so intrigued. Come on.
I
Come on.
know.
Breakuprecoveryformen.com/apply. Okay, come on, everyone. No, we're here for you. We want you to know that we're here for you. Security has apparently been drinking too much milk tonight. And yeah, no, I like we're here for you, like
Yeah.
at the end of the day, we're here. And you got to be decisive. You got to say enough is enough. I'm tired of feeling this pain. And not only that, but I want to attract someone in my life that is going to love me unconditionally, and that is going to that I'm going to love unconditionally. And we're going to get you to a place where you can love yourself unconditionally. And
Mm.
you're going to start to see all these things that are happening outside of you. They're going to start to disappear. All these negative things are going to start to fade away a little bit. They don't go away, but how you respond to them, how you see
Yes.
them, being
Yes.
grateful for them coming into your life, it's a much better way of living. And the only reason I know that is because I've lived the old way, and now I live this way, and I'm
Yes.
happy living this way, and I will never go back to that old way. Even though sometimes I still end up that way, because I'm not perfect. So sometimes I sew, and that's years and years of conditioning, but this way is better.
I think that's a perfect way to end, everyone. Thank you for joining us. If you've been with us, for your comments, we look forward to like connecting with you. See you on next week's Transformational Thursday. And if you have, just book the breakthrough call. Bye.
All right,
I'm
thanks. See
done.
you guys. All right.